Welcome to the next episode of the Bald Avenger. This is just Jason Monday. I'm Jason Cisneros, also known as the Bald Avenger, the tattooed guru, the purveyor of all things common sense, the king of the Misfit Nation, and a legend. In my own mind, I throw that all out there for those of you that go, he's so into himself. He just needs to get over himself right now. When? Right now. His legend. See, that's why I throw it in so everybody understands that I'm kidding. Kind of kidding a little bit. So what are we going to talk about tonight? A couple of things that just a little bit of cleaning up of some details. I'm going to be doing every day. I'm going to be doing 5 minutes of content. 5 minutes of content. Keeping it short. Marketing team said, hey, get out there and do some 5-minute videos. For the last 2 weeks, I tried to do it. I gave it my best. There's $1 for Christopher Kaysen. Yes, I just said the word try. There's another $1. I'll give it to you when I give you a big hug when I see you in Chicago on October 11th. But one of the things that I was trying to do was set up the camera really nice. And then like I bought a tripod. I went to the store. It's like a camera store, like super high end and really fancy. And they were like, well, what about this and what about that? I was like, look, my marketing team says I need to shoot 5-minute content videos. I need a tripod to put my phone on. I needed like a microphone to be connected. I need some stuff. So they set me up with stuff. So I walk out of the store. It's about $800 later ish, right? $800 for things that I thought this will pay off because I'm going to do some 5-minute videos. Yeah. So I do it. I get my content. I get my titles all ready to go. Like, here's my subject. And then I go out and I'm like looking around the entire place. And I'm like, oh my God, the mountain in the background. Like I feel like I was channeling Christopher Kaysen, right? From ChristopherKaysenPhotography.com. Put your website in, brother. Put it in, little brother. But I feel like I was channeling him just a little bit. And I was thinking to myself, there's a mountain over there. The sun's coming from this direction. There's some tree shadow going over right here. Tripod right here. And then I set the thing up and it has a little extender deal that goes up and down so you can get the right angle. Because, if it's going up, I look fat. Who wants to look fat? I don't want to look fat. And then if you get it right here in the face, you kind of look square. But if you get it just that right down angle, now you got a Tinder profile pic. I see you. But now, so I got my Tinder profile pic. I've got the mountain in the background. I got my energy's good. And the subject comes up and I push bink. And my brain goes blank. It goes blank, y'all. Not like just a little bit. I'm like, there's nobody in front of me, and I'm all self-conscious a little bit about like, there's joggers running by and I'm like, yeah, culture for your business. Right. And everybody's like looking at me and I don't really feel self-conscious very often, but it was weird. And by the way, I've never been on Tinder, so it's a joke. Because I don't want Irk getting on here and going, where is he on Tinder? No, Irk, don't swing that way. If I did, it would be with you, but I don't. Okay. So, anyway, right. Brian Slice says he's going to give me some. So my point here to this entire story, is I don't do well without y'all. I just don't do well without y'all. So what I decided to do was I'm going to shoot 5-minute live videos. Even if nobody comes and watches, I feel like you're watching, right? I kind of tell myself in the morning, like it's 4:00 in the morning and I'm rolling out of bed and I'm feeling, those of you that know have been following me, today was day 60 of my 90-day challenge of getting up at 4:00, rolling out and getting out and doing some sort of workout at 5:00 and doing a video do a video, doing a video for y'all just to prove that I'm up and to let everybody know that I'm being dedicated. And yes, I sold my business, and yes, I don't have to do this shit, but I'm doing it every day. And so the thing that keeps me up, getting up out of bed in the morning is my word to y'all. And I don't think to myself in the back of my head, nobody gives a shit really. Like, you know, Jason didn't show up at somewhere between 5 and 5:20 this morning. Oh my God, my life is over. I'd like to think that I have that kind of an impact, right? That I have that sort of an impact on somebody, but my dedication is to you all so that I'm keeping my word, right? It's all about keeping your word. It's about being who you are, no matter if anybody's looking or if they're not looking. And just in case, Christopher Kaysen, who's there, he's usually there every single morning unless he sleeps in. Yes, I know you've slept in a couple of times, Christopher, but to say, okay, for Christopher, I've told him, here's what I expect of you, young man, as you build your business, as you step up, be disciplined, do things that other people won't do so that you can live a life other people can't live. Like I'm the king. Like when we're in pumped up session, I'm the king of the fortune cookies, baby. I got them all. I will take all of Jay Shetty's quotes and claim them as my own. We do, for instance, have the same initials, Jason Cisneros, Jay Shetty. So if I put JS on it, who knows who I'm quoting? Who knows? Do you know? I don't think so. I know, right? Rayanne cares. Yes. So anyway, what was the point? I think that somebody got me off point here. The point is that I'm going to be doing these 5-minute videos. Y'all have given me a bunch. There's a specific post that if you go on there, we're asking for subjects that you want me to talk about for 5 minutes, right? I'll give it 5 minutes. And if I don't have the best information out there, I will bring somebody on camera that will have the best information for you. Because I really want to add a ton of value, and I want us to grow Misfit Nation next year, not just in size. You know what? If we didn't add one single person to Misfit Nation next year, that's not my outcome. My outcome is for you all to have way more money in your pocket, to have way more freedom, and to be doing shit every single day that you were born to be doing. We've grown Misfit Nation to a sizable deal. Like we're 70,000 on the last show that we did, 70,000 downloads, right? So we're making an impact. People are out there. People are listening. People are joining us. They're hearing your stories when I say your names. I'm getting, things. I'm watching Christopher's audience grow. I'm watching everybody that's in the growth course. I'm watching your incomes grow. So next year is about building our strength. Yes, size is cool, but remember 300 properly prepared, wicked warriors that were committed to an outcome to just beat the crap out of a whole bunch of mythical, made up giant animals and all that kind of stuff. It really happened. That battle actually really happened, but they took on tens of thousands of other warriors and stood firm and just built walls of dead people, right? Because 300 committed and hardcore trained people were able to overcome the odds. And you know this. The world is 100% filled with that. The challenge is that, have you ever been on one of those teams? Have you ever been on one of those teams that overcame shit, right? Have you ever been one of those individuals that overcame something, and even if it was just for yourself, not even for the rest of the world to be watching, but have you ever been one of those people? And if you haven't, then you're on this team, right? You are Misfit Nation, baby. That stands for something. That means something. And that means that we will conduct ourselves as such. We will challenge ourselves over 2020. Those of you that don't know, 20 is my lucky number. And there's 2 of those bitches next year, right? 20 and 20. That is double luck. Watch the hell out. By the end of next year, everybody's going to be going, whole Misfit Nation just took over the planet. We've got events planned. We've got marketing and branding coming out. We are going to brand y'all big time, right? Just like that logo back there behind my head, Misfit Nation, right? I feel like Misfit Nation's always got my back. That's why I love exactly where that logo is. It's right in between the Bald Avenger, and it's got my back. So that is what 2020 is going to look like. So that means that our conversations, I'm going to add value during the day, these 5-minute deals. I've got another 30 days, 31 days, because I missed a day in Chicago when I drank and didn't go to bed. So I owe 91 days instead of 90, because I'm a man of my word. But and still, so we've got that going. The 5-minute ads that I'm going to be putting together for everybody, not ads, but value ads on the subjects that you asked for. So we've got a spreadsheet from all the questions you've asked. We've got the person who's going to get the shout out for the question, and we're going to start doing these Just Jason Mondays. Are going to be in your face information about what it takes to be successful, whether you like it or not. Okay. If you don't like it, look, here's the thing, right? You guys have heard me talk about the growth course. It's growth, mastering your business G-spot. The word G-spot, we've had to, over the course of the time when I came up with it, we've had a few people that were a little sensitive about the subject. And now here's the deal. I don't give a shit anymore, right? Here's the deal. If you're going to be offended by the name of my course, wait till you get inside of it and you see the accountability. Wait till you see the work you have to do to actually make more money than you're making right now. Wait till you get in the course and you see that you have to be a servant warrior for your people that work for you, and you have to fall in love with the outcomes of your client. Wait till then. If you're upset by the name, get the fuck out of here, man, because you are going to have zero chance of finishing my course. You're going to have zero chance of executing on the strategies and the philosophies and the procedures and the processes that it takes to be successful, period, right? You don't belong in Misfit Nation, and that's okay. That's okay. You don't belong in Misfit Nation, and that's okay. I don't want everybody in Misfit Nation. You know who I want? Committed, freaking crazy people, committed crazy people who have made mistakes, who have fallen in love with other people, who have fallen back in love with themselves, who have committed themselves to easing suffering in the world. And that is not a bunch of gentle souls. Pastor Rudy, who, again, you guys just saw his video, made this rescue. Every time they go after a little girl or a little boy that's been abducted, it's called a Geronimo. And they go, whether they've got the money, whether they've got the bat, whatever it is, they go and they end up getting that child because of pure faith. And I told him one time, I said, be safe out there. And he said, Jason, don't say that to me. He said, you tell me to stay dangerous. I don't want to stay safe. I want to stay dangerous. And he meant it, because he operates under the faith, right? I'm not a religious person per se, right? He is a sold out, 100% committed Christian. And I love this man. And he doesn't judge me, right? He doesn't judge me. He doesn't judge you. He doesn't judge anybody. What he says is, this is what I believe, and my life is going to be a representative of my belief. And then you can make your own decision based on my behavior, not on me calling you out and trying to tell you, you're not being a good Christian because you didn't do this. You're not being a good Christian because you're doing this. That shit is in your actions, y'all. How you act, what words you use, how you leave people feeling, how you lift people up. Do you tear them down? Whatever it's about the outcome. We can no longer judge other people on their outcomes and ourselves on our intent. The warriors, the misfit warriors that are heading into 2020 have got to judge ourselves by our outcomes. We've got to look right, starting right to now, tonight. We've got to start looking at the results that we've created. We need to start looking at the results of our life in our bank account, with our physical health, right? With our relationships, with our money, right? And those are going to be the 4 subjects that we hone in on. And if you're not wanting to have any accountability, look, my grandfather said, those that are unwilling to be held accountable are unwilling to be measured, are unwilling to be held accountable. And I got no room. You got no room for people who are completely capable of autonomous performance, that choose not to execute, that choose to make themselves a victim, right? We in Misfit Nation, this is one of the things I want to get crystal clear to everybody that's out there. People that need us, that are genuine victims, that need rescued, that are prisoners in their own home. If you're an abused woman and your children and you're a prisoner in your own home, you're being beat, you reach out to us, we're coming for you, right? If there's a little girl or a little boy that's out there that's been stolen away or being trafficked for disgusting purposes out there, we are coming for you. If there's people out there that would like to eat and they can't because people are controlling them or they don't have access to it or whatever, we're coming for you. I have been solid for the last 7 years, right? Misfit Nation's coming for y'all. Because what we do, what the entire agenda is for 2020 is for y'all to be rich as hell so that you can help solve some of these problems with your checkbook and not just with these comments and with our passive words and all the shit that we do on social media, right? I love the fact that we all get on here and we support each other and we lift each other up. But what I'd rather do is when I throw up a Geronimo and we need $16,000, I go, look, there's a Geronimo, $16,000, and Misfit Nation pays that shit in 15 minutes. That's my outcome. That's my outcome. $3 million in 2018. We've just clicked over the $3 million in 2019. We need $10 million next year, y'all. I want Misfit Nation to be responsible for $10 million. And that's just getting started. We've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of really great charities that we're going to be supporting. But the top three for me, domestic violence, trafficking, and feeding people. And you all know Feed a Billion. I'm CEO of feedabillion.org. Those of you that are interested in domestic violence, I support A New Dawn, newdawnfoundation.com. And those of you that know my work that I've done with about 16 or 17 other rescue operations, I'm focusing, honing, and putting all of my weight and energy behind CERT Ministries and a project called the Slave Free Project in 2020. So that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And so when I get on here and I'm intense and I'm having a good time, I'm going to have a really great time next year. Really, really great time. I have a great time anyway, but I'm going to be a little bit more intense. You know, I've had a lot of people say, Jason, you know, maybe you want to back off on the political stuff just a little bit so you can grow your audience. Jason, maybe what you should do is say fuck a little bit less. And then your audience will grow just a little bit. You know, Jason, maybe kind of tone it down just a little bit with all of your, you know, misfit information. Like, you know, no, no, I'm not having none of it. I will listen to people I respect. I will adjust my own behavior, but my belief is that we will not solve these problems. We're headed for in this country right now, if shit doesn't change, we are headed for a civil war because we're being manipulated. We're being manipulated. Anybody that ever wants to see how we're being manipulated, go watch the movie The Castle, right? The Castle with Robert Redford. And you have a bunch of people that are in government right now and in the media that are taking away a basketball so you and I will fight each other. Fuck that. I'm not participating. We're on the verge, right? You're trying to impeach somebody for something every single president on the face of the planet has done and had done to him, by the way, as he was coming in. And we're seeing all of this nonsense and no work's getting done. None whatsoever. They could give a shit. I don't care if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican, there's no work being done and they've taken the basketball away from us, right? They've taken one basketball away and it causes a fight between in the movie, it causes a fight between two different races, right? Because there wasn't two basketballs. That's how easy the human race is to manipulate. That's how easy the human race is to manipulate. Take away a basketball and we're going to fight. Right? We're going to fight. Misfit Nation has to be ready for that, for the political correctness. We've got to get rid of it. We've got to support our comedians that are out there telling jokes. I don't care if you like them or you don't. Like, you know, if they're saying things that are important that hurt people's feelings, it means that it needs to be said. We've got to support our comedians. That is if you look back through history and at the important transfers of knowledge and keeping this country together and going through rough times and then moving to the next level and keeping this shit together, it's been comedians that have been at the forefront saying what needs to be said and not being chastised for it, not losing jobs because of it. There's a lot of comedians that are out there that say stuff that I don't agree with. But that is the bastion of what this country stands for, is we can say whatever the fuck we want to. Now, if they get up there and they say stuff that you don't like, just like me being on here, right? Just like me being on here. If you don't like me, go away. There's literally no weapons. Well, you know, except for the one I always have with me, there's literally no weapons that are currently holding you here to watch me if you don't like me. There's 7-point-something billion other people that are out there in the world. Go find one you do like, that you do agree with. I'm okay with that, right? But we've got to stop this nonsense. We've got to stop being having making it so easy for us to be manipulated. And we're looking at a time and a day and age where this is all necessary. We think that it's fun. We think that it's just on social media. This is affecting and impacting y'all's kids' lives and y'all's grandkids' lives. And a lot of people out there, when I say that, I realize to myself, nobody gives a shit, right? I mean, we've been sticking our kids in front of a little screen for the entire time since they were born, because the first time they're like, oh my God, they're screaming, they're blah, blah, blah. And you put this in their face, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, and they go quiet. It creates an anchor in our head that this quiets our kids. This quiets our kids. This quiets our kids. And then all of a sudden we get to a place where, like, why doesn't my kid talk to me? Because this is what they formed a relationship with, right? That's what they formed a relationship with. So, truth. Misfit Nation is about sticking together. Misfit Nation is about having each other's back behind our backs. Misfit Nation is about challenging. If you hear me say something that is not true, challenge me on it, right? If you hear me say something that's out of character for what the Misfit Nation stands for, call me out on it, because I will be calling you out on it. I do. A lot of you know. I'm in you guys' DMs. I'm texting you. I'm calling y'all. I'm making sure that we are in alignment with each other. We don't have to be all the same. Matter of fact, it's better that we disagree about at least 60% of the shit that we talk about. It is best that we disagree, okay, in a respectful way. And then look forward to the days, like I do when I'm going to Chicago, that room is going to be filled with Misfit Nation. That room is going to be filled with misfits. That room is going to be filled with people that understand what's going to be coming at them from the stage. And you're bringing people with you, which means that you trust me enough to be able to take care of your people that you are bringing to that event, right? That I get invited to go down to a very exclusive event in Mexico, that I get invited to Tracy Porterfield's event that she spent her entire career building up. That is an immense amount of trust. And you know why people want me there? Is because of this. There's not going to be a filter here. The filter happens up here. It's called thought. When this mouth opens, 99.9% of the time, it's gone through a filter of thinking and taking an idea and taking another idea and thinking and going, I hate this idea. I hate this idea. Maybe if we combine the two, now we got something magic, right? That's what happens when my mouth opens. So again, I'm open to changing my opinion, but when I say something, I'm convinced of it in the moment because I have thought about it. I do not watch a television station to get my opinion. I do not read a certain document to get my information. I use this thing that separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom called the prefrontal cortex to filter my opinions and my beliefs. Sometimes I have to wait for what I believe because guess what? I think to myself, What if I could improve my health with a scientist instead of a doctor? I don't know how it's going to go. Now I do. I'm getting on the other side of that. And y'all are going to hear some amazing shit that's coming at you here pretty soon that is out of the doctor realm, but deeply in the health realm, right? Deeply in the health realm. So with all of that in mind, the subject, what was the subject tonight? Acceleration and fortress building. I want to make sure that I at least get those things in here. Let's see, where is it? Okay. So fortress building. Now, your vitals, right? Let's talk about this just a little bit. What are your vitals? What are your vitals? Okay. In your body, right? It's all you've got a vest that goes over your vitals. You've got a helmet that goes over vitals, like your brain, your heart, the shit that your lungs, if they're punctured, you've got these vital portions of your body that if one goes down, you're done. Okay. Now think about your life. What are your vital relationships? And y'all should have a notebook or something, or come back and visit this, or whatever it is. You're looking at Patrick Dickerson says his prefrontal cortex is undergoing renovation, as should everyone's every single day, right? That's why I wear this ring, right? I die to myself, to the me of yesterday, so that I can constantly upgrade this software that we've been given, that we program with what? Language, physiology, focus, and emotion, multiplied by intensity, right? Multiplied by intensity and anchored in with repetition. That's the formula. That's the formula for change. That's the formula for not having panic attacks. That's the formula for at least my level of mental health, which I know I'm just listening to a bunch of you out there might be questionable, but my level of joy, my level of happiness, my level of deciding that joy is a choice. It came from physiology, focus, language, and emotion multiplied with intensity, right? And then anchored in with repetition. That's how you became depressed in the first place, right? You think negative shit's going to happen to you over and over and over again. Your brain is just giving you what you're asking of it. That's all. Right? Now, I'm not a mental health person. I understand that there's all kinds of variations on this. I'm telling you that I dealt with a lot of mental health people when I was having panic attacks, when I was going. I've been diagnosed with being bipolar. I got diagnosed with PTSD. I got diagnosed with severe panic disorder. There's all kinds of stuff that I got diagnosed with. And guess what? I had none of that shit. I was living a life that was creating pain. I was making decisions that was creating pain in other people. I was being an asshole. I was being a douchebag. And what you get when you're acting like that is what you deserve. And I was getting what I deserved. Hadn't been taught any different, but whose fault was that? After 18 years old, that was my fucking fault. It was my fault. It was my choice from the age of whatever it was. I got booted when I was 15 years old. I've been living on my own since I was 15. So since 15 years old, I have had to program. I have had a choice since 15. And between 15 and about 20, I don't know, 26 or 27, I chose to be an asshole, right? I chose to lie about things. I chose to cheat on my wife. I chose bad decisions because I was blaming my past, not understanding that at 15 years old, I became big enough boy to make my own decisions. Had to pay for a roof over my head, had to feed my belly, had to do those things. And yet I didn't take responsibility for the one thing that actually impacts my life ahead of everything else. And that is strengthening my choice, right? My choice, strengthening my choice. And for Juan, who asked for me to repeat the formula, physiology. How do you hold your body? Are you depressed? Like those of you that have been to a Tony Robbins event, he does a way better job of this than I do. But are you depressed? Because if you're depressed, you're caving in your ability to breathe. If you're powerful, your chest is up, your shoulders are back, right? Your physiology, focus. What are you focused on? Focus ends up being language, right? Are you focused on positive things? Are you focused on the world ending? Are you focused on being offended all the time? Are you focused on changing the fucking world? right? Your language that you use. What words do you use on a consistent basis, right? If you use the word I or me too many times, your life is fucked. Okay? I'll just tell you that. If what you do is you look into and you just say, here's what I want. Somebody follow me around, and because usually those of you that are like this have somebody just follow me around, or have this Google thing, follow me around and just count how many times I say I or me, because this asshole bald guy just said blah, 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 right? It is what it is. And he said, I should see it. I know it's not going to have anything to do. Those of you that say I and me way too often, this is you. I'm doing an impression of you. So also, how do I know? Because it was my dumbass when I was younger, before I actually did this challenge. So you walk around. If you say the words I and me, that means you're centered on yourself. You are the truth of self-centered. And the more that you focus on yourself, the more miserable you become. The more you try to convince people to love you, the less love you get. The more love you give, the more love that inherently comes back to you. Don't give love to get love. Give love because it is who the fuck you were born to be. That first breath you took was to love. Your first breath, your first touch was to love your mom, to love your dad, to love whoever took you if you were put up for adoption, right? We were meant and born to love. We forgot that. Somewhere along the way, we were told that we've got to be loved, that it's us that need love, that unless I'm loved, I'm going to be unhappy. Guess what? That's not why you're here. That's not why you're here, right? You're bouncing a ball, right? You're bouncing a ball and trying to score, and you're playing soccer. That's fun. It's not the rules. It's not the rules. So physiology, focus, language, emotion. What emotions are you choosing to experience on a consistent basis, right? Try to feel depression when you're laughing hysterically. I dare you. Try to feel depression or upset when you are giving compassion and empathy to a hurting soul, to a child that is going through cancer, through somebody that is going through something horrific, that just lost a loved one, that may be facing their own life, the end of their own life. Get outside of yourself. That's one of the biggest challenges that we have right now in our society, is that we think that we're supposed to be loved, right? To stand up in front of an audience and say, everybody needs to quiet down. I cannot think. Who gives a fuck? Shut the fuck up and go in a closet wherever you can, because this world is not centered around you, right? This world is not centered around me. World is surrounded around the concept of we, of the greater we, of the concept of us being able to love and to build and to progress. Right? That's what happens. We can cure diseases. We can love each other. We can figure racism out. We can do all of these things if we stop allowing the warden up top to take a basketball away from us and to cause us to fucking hate each other. Have you ever had a conversation with a right-wing conservative? If you're a Democrat, have you looked at how they love their family? Have you looked at the food that they eat? Have you looked at the car that they drive? Have you looked at the challenges that they've been through? Same thing if you're a Republican looking at a Democrat. Have you looked at the life that they've led? Have you looked how they were raised? Have you looked at the parents that they were giving? Have you looked at the tragedies in their life? And all of a sudden you go, holy shit, it's exactly me. And so when you hate another person, you hate yourself. When you hate another person, you hate yourself. You know who I hate? You know who I hate and who it's legal to hate according to Jason is people who are harming kids. Men that are harming their women or their children. People that are purposely starving villages for control. I do not like people that inflict pain on other people on purpose, right? Don't like it. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. I don't like you. Okay. That's what, but Pastor Rudy, one of the most frustrating things Pastor Rudy ever did was to say, Jason, what if you even love them? I don't want to. I don't want to, Christopher. I don't want to, but he does. You know, he does. And he's in that, he's in that, I go every once in a while, y'all, but he's in it every single day. He's in it every single day. And he seeks to find love even for the perpetrators. He's a better person than I am currently. Not saying that I won't get there, but I'm not there yet. Right? So physiology, focus, language, and emotion multiplied by intensity. Okay. If you go, yeah, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna make some more money, and yeah, and I'm gonna be a better friend, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna be a better husband, or I'm gonna be a better wife, or yeah, I'm gonna make some more money. Right? All I'm doing is representing how a lot of people, how you look. Like if you were making, like a lot of people say, you got to set goals, which I think is total bullshit. You got to set outcomes, and then you got to make them non-negotiable. That's the key. Outcomes and then non-negotiable. So, but a lot of people are like, you got to make goals. And you're like, I'm going to make $200,000 next year. And here's your brain while you're doing it. This idiot thinks that he's going to make $200,000 more. You know who you are. You're so stupid. Do you not realize you don't have the right last name? Do you not realize that you don't live in the right zip code? You're an idiot, right? That's what your brain's doing. So intensity means that you overcome that shit with certainty, right? You guys want to, like, one of my buddies, Dom, right? Those of you that know Dom Fawcett, command presence. Like he teaches the shit, right? When you show up and you're like, right? Those of you know that I do the gorilla growl from stage. It's like, I got it. Like I'm going to make $200,000. And here's why. My entire pen just blew apart. It's like, this is why I'm going to make $200,000. And here's why, because my child deserves a world-class education. My wife deserves not to be stressing out anymore. I want a home to call my own. And you get completely anchored to that shit, right? Physiology, focus, language, and emotion. You throw that multiplier of intensity on top of it, because you have to be more intense than your doubt. You have to be more intense than your doubt. Write that down, put it somewhere, put it up in the air somewhere. You have to be more intense than your doubt. Now, the last piece of that puzzle is repetition. You have built these neural net pathways in your brain since the day that you started to believe the bullshit that's creating the reality that you live right now. How much money you make, how happy you are, what relationship you're in, what your body looks like. From the minute you started believing that was meant for you, you've been believing it over and over and over again. Okay, that causes repetition. That was repetition that causes your neural net pathways to expand more and more and more, so it gets easier to believe a lie, right? We're the ones that becomes easier to believe a lie the more you think something. That's why the more you think about it, right? That's why politicians repeat shit over and over and over again, because they're working on your neural net pathways, because you haven't figured out that you're in fucking control of them. And they realize through the boob tube or through Facebook or social media or through magazines or newspapers or whatever it is, if they can repeat a message over and over and over again, they're building the super highway information passages in your brain, because you're not. You don't know that you have control over it. You don't realize that you are the one that is building that repetition. And if you hear over and over and over, our president is this. Our president wasn't born in America with Obama, right? Our president, he needs to be impeached. He's a criminal, blah, 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 blah. If you keep hearing it over and over and over again, and you don't utilize your prefrontal cortex, you become a sucker. You become a shill. You become somebody that is being used like a little puppet by the oligarchy, right? We're not supposed to have that shit in this country. They're supposed to go to Washington, set no laws against themselves, and then leave and live under the same rules that they set for the rest of us. They go and they fucking stay because y'all have given up your civic rights, your civic duties, educating yourself, running for office, putting yourself, sacrificing. It was supposed to be a sacrifice. Now, regardless of what you think, when you watch somebody go to Washington and their family, like there was a very nonpartisan intellectual, and I'm going to find his argument. And he said, look, it's a place that you go, you get a job, you keep it forever, and your friends and family become rich because of it. Go to Benjamin Franklin. He said, if you go into public service poor and you come out rich, you stole. You're a thief, right? Why is it okay? Just because somebody has a Democrat or a Republican on their side, it's not fucking okay. It's not okay for anybody on either side of this equation to be being enriched by public service. It's public service for a reason. It's not self-enrichment. That's not what it's supposed to be about. It's because you and I have given up our civic rights. I haven't. I studied this shit. I have intelligent conversations. Can be wrong, absolutely, but it's an informed argument when I talk. Is yours. And is it informed by something other than MSNBC when you're on the left or Fox News if you're on the right? Where is it informed by? How the hell did we get on that subject? We're going to get away. We're going to get back into, physiology, focus, language, emotion, multiplied by intensity. And then the magic is repetition, y'all. Thinking that new thought over and over and over again. 200,000, it's non-negotiable. 200,000, it's non-negotiable. 250,000, it's non-negotiable. Why? Because you're associated. You're committed to it. Right? You're committed to it, and you're doing it for a reason bigger than yourself. You're doing it better for a reason bigger than I want to impress my neighbor. I want to move into a different neighborhood, right? Where the assholes actually get bigger, by the way, right? There's this level of weird things, right? When you think about it, and this is kind of just off the top of my head right now, but if you think about what our society has been sort of structured as, you think about the movie Titanic, right? Where everybody up top is rich assholes that are looking down there like snooty tooty, right? And everybody on the bottom was having an amazing time. Like that's the place to go. You're partying. And I know because that's the life that I lived. That's where I come from. I was born down there. I was born probably a level underneath of that chattel. Right? That was where I came from. I was born a bastard. Somebody called me the bastard that had never met me before. And I was like, thank you very much. That's a really great, a really, really great compliment to me. Okay. So here's the chattel. I was born below the chattel. And if you're down there and you're amongst the chattel, the thing that you have to do is you have to live amongst other people that think that is the way to live life, right? That is the way to live life. The party's at the bottom of the boat. And we convince ourselves that that's where we belong because we don't belong up on the top deck. We don't belong in the fine section. We don't belong where the good food is. We don't belong where the good music is. We convince ourselves down here. Now, the minute here's where the problem comes in. The minute that we look around and we go, you know what? All the problems that we have down here, a lot of us get sick and die young because we don't have proper health care, right? A lot of us down here, our kids, they don't really have a really great opportunity for a fantastic education. I start thinking, man, maybe I ought to upgrade. Maybe I ought to upgrade, not for me, but for my family. Maybe there's something else I could do, right? When I'm down here, man, I would love to be able to help the people that have cancer. Man, I would love to. I'm hearing about all this stuff that's going on in human trafficking and all this other kind of stuff. I'd really like to help that, but I don't have any assets. I don't have any resources. So maybe I had to go up a level. That's when the problem comes in, y'all. That's when I got attacked the hardest, is when I decided to go not to the top, because I didn't believe that the top was a place for me, right? I didn't believe the top was a place for me, but I thought, you know what? I could do a little better. I could do just a step better. And so I did. And then as I was leaving, the people that I was leaving were going, who the fuck do you think you are, punk? You're one of us. Get back down here. Get back down here. Do you know the things that I saw you do over in that section? Do you know what I saw you do with what, you cheated on your wife? You lost money. You went bankrupt. Do you know if the rest of the world understands and knows what happened? You are lower class, brother. Don't try. Don't even give it a whirl to get out of this fucking spot. And there's two ways that they try to keep you there. Number one, we love you. We're going to miss you. Right? And secondly, we're going to tell on you. We're going to tell on you if you try to get out of here. And then let's say that you get through, you bust through that. You're like, you know what? What we teach and what we talk about here in Misfit Nation is tell the world, right? I wrote a book. I did still the most listened to podcast was me telling about myself, right? Which people try to come back and they go, oh, did you know Jason this? Did you know Jason that? Now people are like, fuck, it's on his podcast. Read his book. He's certainly not hiding anything. You like him or you don't like him. If you don't like him, he says on his shows all the time, go the hell away. I'm not trying to sell you shit, right? So at the end of the day, you go up to that next level. And you form new friendships and you form a new relationship. You're not quite in that bottom section. You're not, you're like maybe at that one step up, that one level up. And you're like, you know what? This is better, right? Like I don't have to worry about stuff with my kids as much. I don't have to do like I can afford some stuff in case we get sick. I'm able to give $5 at church on Sundays. Like this is a little better. And everybody around you goes, hey, welcome. You fought your way out of that. We did too. Right. And man, I used to be up there and I got knocked down the hell down here. Like, I got stories about them and I got stories about them, but here's the magic spot. We're the good people, right? We're the good people. And then you go, now, wait a minute. There's a thing up here, right? Where instead of $5, maybe I could give $20, right? And instead of my kid going to this school, maybe I could get him to that school. Oh, and maybe I could, instead of this car, maybe I could have a little nicer car, right? And then you go, guys, I'm gonna go check out this other level up here. And then they go, who the fuck do you think you are? You just too good for us? Do you know what you did while you were here? Not only do you know what you did here, but what you did down there. We have your stories. We know they told us, but we accepted you in here with all those stories. And you go, this is starting to look familiar, right? This is starting to look familiar. And then you go up to the next level and they're like, you don't belong here. And they're going down, they're yelling at you from the below, you don't belong here. So the entire process of moving up, right? The entire process. The funniest thing that I hear all the time, you guys have heard me say this a few times, is broke assholes saying something along the lines of, I'm not in Misfit Nation. Jason's not worth he's not worth what he says he is. I get that. Look, this is one that you get shot at you from the top and from the bottom, from above you, from below you, from whatever level that you have to be on, is people injecting doubt when you are doing good, right? People injecting doubt when they can't attack your character anymore because all the shit that they can say about me, guess who said it? Me, right? So now I have never in public ever talked about my net worth. I have never talked about how much money I have, how much money I don't have. I have never, ever uttered it. Ever. And yet, everybody wants to talk about it. The people that are trying to inject doubt into the work that I do, right, which is 90% giving shit away, right? It's 90% of my life is in philanthropy. 90% of my life is in charity. 90% of my life is doing good shit with my life, or at least what I interpret as good shit. Doesn't have to be what you interpret, but that's what I do. And I do it not for anybody's approval. Not for anybody's approval. I do it because I believe that we should be magnets of what we believe. And I know I can't change this world. I know I can't ease suffering all by myself. No matter how much money I'm worth, whether it's $1 billion or whether it's worth negative $10, no matter how much money I'm worth, my money is not going to be enough to change the fucking world. I need y'all. I need a team, right? I need like-minded human beings that may disagree with me on 60 to 70% of the shit that we believe, but you're committed to overcoming the weakness of of yourself from yesterday, and you're committed to putting yourself out there and getting as good as you possibly can for the purpose of serving other people, right? Simple. That's who I want to find. And there's 7 billion people on the earth. And if it takes me the rest of my 115 years that I'm going to be alive on this planet, if it takes me the rest of that time to find a group of human beings that believe that we should be putting our lives on the line, that we should be stretching ourselves for the purpose of changing this world for the better and leaving it a better place for our kids and leaving it a better place for our grandkids, then that's who I want around me. That's who I want around me. And I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you have in the bank right now. I don't care what you went to jail for. I don't care what your reputation is. I don't care. What I care about is what are you committed to doing today and what are you committed to doing tomorrow? And then what do you do? Because if you come in here and you act all pious and then you act like an asshole, I'm just not going to hang out with you. Look, I'm not one of those guys that runs around social media going, do you know this person? Do you know that person? Did you know what these guys did? Because guess what? People know what other people do. I don't have to tell on anybody, right? Because an asshole is always going to act like an asshole, no matter how temporarily they look like they're not. So I don't have to say shit. You don't have to say shit. What you should do is be working on the person who's staring you in the mirror. So for crying out loud, Jason, get to the point of what this subject is about tonight. Acceleration in fortress building. This comes down to as we start to set up 2020. And we're going to be talking a lot about this as we set it up. I'm going to do something. My team's really trying hard right now to figure out the right format. But I'm going to spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever the format ends up looking like. But I'm going to have an event for Misfit Nation for us to set up our 2020. We're going to set out our outcomes. We're going to set our non-negotiables, and then we're going to attack the shit out of 2020. And I'm going to be talking to people and bringing people in until we're all committed to a $10 million change. And I'll do it. If I have to do it by myself, I'll do it by myself. That's how committed I am. I want a new Dawn properly funded. I want Feed a Billion to be properly funded. And I want CERT Ministries to have all the money that they need when they need it. When that call comes in, I want them to be able to go. I don't want there to be a doubt. I want the faith that he has provided for 130 plus girls and little boys and little girls and rescued for under the cost of $100,000. He's not looking for celebrity. He's not looking for the world to look at him. He's not looking for a movie to be made about him. He's not looking for any of that shit. What he's looking for is for him to commit, or is for him to, and his family, who, by the way, are as or more committed than he is to these outcomes, is to being and delivering on the calling on his life. That's why I love this man. That's why I love his family. And that's why I'll put my life on the line if they call me for a mission or if they need money. I'm in, right? I'm in. So Todd Hart, thank you. There's a guy, this is a man who has had to go through his own life-threatening shit this year, right? And he's one of the first people to go, I'm in. I'm in. Those of us that have been in the most pain develop the muscle of empathy. The muscle of empathy is, I believe, the biggest prerequisite for sainthood, if there is such a thing, right? Because we know that this world is not about us. So acceleration and fortress building, right? So acceleration means once you have committed to an outcome, and again, remember that you're not even in the arena. If you don't have objectives set up for yourself for 2020, if you don't have objectives set up from where you are right now to the end of 2019, but certainly I'm going to be talking a lot about 2020 and setting that up. Those of you that have an extra $15,000, I'd spend it to get my ass down to Cancun if Laney still has a spot open, because that's going to be high level, right? Super high level, intense opportunity for you to set up your 2020. Okay. But if nothing else, join us on whatever event that we end up putting together. It's going to be free and it's going to be online, and I'm going to go as long as it needs to go. So as you do, set what your objectives are. And my You set them however you want to, set them in whatever realm you want to. Your outcomes are not my outcomes. This is about you, right? This is about you. And so, so in the area of your physical health, what could you do that you have control over to improve your health? Because that is the foundation of your energy level that it's gonna take to be able to do the things you need to do and to be able to overcome the sheer strength that it takes to get from one level of that boat to the next level of that boat, to fight against the people that are trying to tamp you back down. You belong down below. Never ever let anybody that's in those upper echelons tell you don't belong there. Okay? I've been having people tell me that shit since the day I stepped foot on that top deck. And guess what? They can't get rid of the bald-headed Mexican, black, Spanish, Native American, Irish, whatever the hell else I am, right? They can't get rid of me. I'm not going anywhere, right? They can't take what I've already earned. Too bad, too late, I'm here. La, 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 la. Okay? So next thing is when you've set that objective, there's two things that I want you to do. You've got to think in terms of acceleration, okay? Acceleration. Now, so many, and here's what I mean by that. A lot of you go to seminars. A lot of you consume content. A lot of you are watching videos. A lot of you are watching Netflix. A lot of you, by all measurements, if you get into this, and I may actually do a session on this, but what I will tell you is that the numbers show that we are becoming like the kitten with the catnip and a little toy by the entertainment that we choose to consume, right? We used to read books. Now we buy books and put them up on the shelf and never consume them, right? So for acceleration purposes, all I want you to do is look at your consumption, right? Look at your consumption. What are you pulling in to your body? What are you programming this with? If it's purely entertainment, fine, but understand it's empty calories. And those of you that have eaten different things and you've tried to, you're moving to put your body in better shape, you can eat 1,000 calories in a pizza, right? Or you can eat 1,000 calories with the proper greens and the proper organic chicken and with some avocado and with the right amount of gluten-free carbs, right? There's a big difference. Both 1,000 calories, right? Watching Orange is the New Black, which admittedly was my, that was my thing for a little while. Watching that versus being in a course called Growth, Mastering Your Business G-Spot, that hour that you spend in that, it's the same hour, but which one is going to get you further down the road, right? If you watch an hour of Tony Robbins, right, versus an hour of late night television or MSNBC, right? You got to weigh these things, because whatever you're going to intake, whatever you're going to consume is going to accelerate you down a predictable path, right? It's going to accelerate you back towards being broke, controllable, angry, upset, mentally weak, straight, all of that stuff. It's which calories are you deciding to consume? Which path are you accelerating yourself down? And it's okay. Look, I am a big proponent of enjoying life at the highest level. I enjoy and have built in enjoyment of succeeding in helping someone else step out of a position that they've been in, whether that's through charity, whether that's through helping them make more money with their business. Watching Laura Wilkerson go on a lifelong trip that she's been waiting to go on, that she was able to go on because of the growth course, right? To watch people, to watch Mark and Abby, right? Live one life. And as she said in her own words, now I get to do the thing that I've been dreaming about instead of just talking and dreaming about it. That's the kind of stuff that I love to do. I'm addicted to that, right? I'm addicted to that. And I get just as much rest and rejuvenation out of the work that I do to free little girls and boys, to feed people, to help domestic violence, to help a business go from one place to a whole other place, right? That is my juice. But I also enjoy laying my ass on a beach and enjoying a tequila and eating some food that's not healthy for me every once in a while, right? The key, every once in a while. So all content, just like Diana repeated for me, all calories are not created equal. All content consumption is not created equal. And if we live in the knowledge age, if we live in that age where knowledge is the foundational transfer of wealth between us currently, then you better gain some knowledge and not be consuming knowledge. That's the difference between an investor and a consumer. So your acceleration path is going to be your choice. It's going to be 100% your choice by what you decide to put in here, right? And how you decide, like literally, look, it's fine. You know, you want to impeach Donald Trump, you know, you want to hate Obama, cool, fine. That's your decision. But that energy is going to be spent and you don't get it back. It's going to be spent and you don't get it back. And guess who got it? The people that are on the political spectrum, they got it, right? The people that you're consuming shit from all the time so that you got the right purse, so that you're driving the right car, so that you're living in the right zip code. Who got all that? They got your money, right? They got your money. They've got your children's future. They got that house that you wanted. They've got that body that you're looking to get. They do because you decided to give it away. So as you go through this, you start to realize, hey, I'm purposely giving it away. I'm giving it to that person, right? I'm giving it away, or I'm going to take control of it. Not telling you who to like. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you and educating you on how I learned how to think. That's it. Nobody's going to tell me what to think anymore. The world used to. My past used to. My adopted father and the memory of him controlled me for years and years and years, no longer. The mistakes that I make today are because I thought it through and purposely decided to take an action. And so if it was a bad action that didn't get me the result I was looking for, that was on me. If I invested money, I don't have anybody else to blame, right? It was my choice. I'm not a coward. I accept full responsibility for my decisions in life. My adopted father hasn't been here since I was 17 years old because he went to prison for attempted murder of me. After that day, every choice was mine. Every decision I made was mine. Every day that I spent in jail after that for the shit that I was doing was my decision. But I was saying, oh, poor me because of my daddy, right? Oh, poor me because of my upbringing. Oh, poor me, nobody loved me, right? Fully and totally ignoring the fact that I had the world's most amazing grandparents. Fully ignoring that I had coaches that did their best to seed into me. Fully ignoring that I had the greatest fourth grade teacher in Miss Linda Ivy, who taught me the power of words, that taught me the power of imagining a space outside of the hell that I was living in fourth grade, right? Fully ignoring all of the things that I had. What are you ignoring? What things do you own that can accelerate you down a path that you want to go down? Number one, you belong on the top fucking deck. You belong on the top deck. You who's listening to this, you belong on the top deck if you want to be. If you want to be up there in your sweats, if you want to be up there and you want to be drinking a beer, if you want to be up there and saying the word fuck, go, get there. Because you know why you're up there? So that you can reach down to other people that are trying to get up there and help them the hell up. Right? That's why you're there. Not so that you can go, oh, look at me. I'm so fancy. I'm so arrogant. It's me. I was born with some special gene in me. Bullshit. I get sick and tired. The parties that I go to, I can't stand to be around the arrogant douchebag rich. I can't stand it. I can't stand to be around y'all judgmental assholes. I can't stand it. Right? It's funny because I don't know if January Riggins is listening, but I told her, I went to her picnic and I was around a bunch of criminals and what the rest of the world looks at and says that these people don't matter and these people are never going to become anything. And these are the people that I overlook. And these are the people that I'm rude to that are serving me at my restaurants. And these are the people that are cleaning up after me. These are the people that are on this corner sometimes because they need to feed their family and they need a little bit of money. I felt way more at home with them than I have at some of these highfalutin people that then, they're like, oh, welcome, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Cisneros? Oh, how did you get here? Oh, I don't think you're worth as much as you say you are, blah, 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 blah. Like all that judgy shit that happens. Keep in mind, I've never said how much I'm worth. And you guys don't see me doing shit from in front of my mansion. You don't see me doing shit in my BMW. You don't see me doing shit trying to impress the fuck out of you. You see me in the dark and you see me in my studio. And sometimes you see me on a beach, but that's not rubbing it in your face. I just love the beach. But at the end of the day, misfits are made to serve, right? And that was the change in my life, was when I realized I wasn't, the first time I made money, y'all, I'm flat going to throw it out there. I was trying to buy love. I was trying to buy acceptance. I was trying to, if I made more money, I believed that the world would accept me, that I wasn't a piece of shit, that I mattered, that I was worthy, right? I made money for that purpose. And guess what? When I lost it, all of those fucking people that were coming to my parties, all of those people that were trashing my house when we would have boxing parties, all of those people that were out on my boat, throwing up in my boat and trashing my, the seats in it. And all of those people, when I needed $10 because I hadn't eaten in a couple of days, not one of those motherfuckers answered the phone and sent me any money. You know who did? Pastor Timmy in Southern California. You know who did? Some stranger on the street. You know who did? My ex-wife's mom. You know who did? Some of the best friends that are still with me today. Right? And so you're worthy. Right now, you're worthy. There's no one you have to impress. There's no purse. There's no belt. There's no clothes. There's no house. There's no car. There's no zip code. There's no last name. There's no anything that you need to get the approval of people that think that you need to earn your way into their presence. Those of you that know, I don't run around the speaker circuit with everybody else that pumps air up each other's ass and well, look who's coming to my mastermind. Look who's coming to my mastermind. And I know all of these assholes are talking shit behind each other's back, tearing each other down. I don't like them. So why the fuck would I want to hang out with them? I don't need their approval. Right? I built businesses the real way. That's why growth is here. That's why growth, mastering your business G-spot, is the G-spot, because I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about the title. It's real world content that will change your life in business. And everybody, this is public, and nobody can come on here or will come on here and talk shit about the program. Everybody that's here that has gone through it, I can't do a show where people don't show up and go, that's the best course I've ever taken. And it's the only product that's out there that I will ever sell. That's it. Unless you have a company and then you got Joe and the boys for the consulting company. We put our hands on your business and accelerate it, and it's a different experience, right? So my point is, y'all, that I think Misfit Nation, no matter how, what's the word I'm looking for? No matter how innocuous it was, no matter how innocuous it was that we all came together. I don't even remember the first person that said, I talked about us being a bunch of misfits. And I think my first video even has, the island of the misfit toys, on it. And however innocuous it was for us to become the Misfit Nation, I'm all in, baby. Like, I love you all. I love you all. And to the person, I get comments all the time. This person's really weird, blah, blah, blah. And I go, I know. Oh my God, I know they're so fucking weird. They're so strange. and do you think they're ever going to be successful? I don't know. But you know what I see from the weird ass people that are here? I'm weird, but the thing that I see is nobody's here judging each other. I'm watching you guys' comments. You guys are talking to yourselves a little bit more than even probably listening to me, because you've met each other, even if it's digitally, and you've fallen in love with each other because of who you are. No matter how fucking weird you are, you belong here, right? You belong here. And if it's just 300 of us, fine. If it's 3,000 of us, fine. If it's 3 million of us, fine. I don't really care. It's the ones that are committed. And I'll take all y'all twice on Sunday, right? Every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So let me finish up this thought, because now, oh my God, hour and a half. What the hell's wrong with me? I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me finish this up and wrap it up to honor you guys' time. Now, so acceleration, that is going to be what you decide to consume, right? What you decide to consume as content. Start now. What is your outcome? And then what's the content that you need to consume to be able to get there? If you're going down a path you've never walked before, if you're going to try to make money you've never made before, you're going to need information that you don't currently have. That can be a book. You can go to the library for free. You can watch Google. Be careful of the content that's being sold to you, right? Be careful of the content that's being sold to you to pump up your emotional state. Okay? I'm going to hammer on this almost every time I talk from now on. If you are being drawn into a big seminar where it's stadiums full of people and you're like, boom, and the lights are going off and the excitement's there and everybody's like pumped up and you're going blah, blah, blah. And you walk out of there the next day and everybody goes, what did you do? And you go, I don't know, but it was exciting. Okay, what are we going to do differently? I don't know, but let's get excited. It's temporary high, y'all. And I think it's necessary every once in a while just to get to celebrate with people for no reason. Like Tony Robbins, UPW, I think everybody should go once a year. Like it's an amazing experience, but don't expect that you're going to leave there and you're going to get some piece of content that's going to change your life. What it's doing is putting you in a different state so that you can take action on some processes and procedures that are going to change your behavior. Because unless your behavior changes, you're going to get the same shit over and over and over again. They say, if you do the same thing over and over again, what do you expect? That fortune cookie. The issue is that it should be modified to say that if you continue your behavior over and over and over again, the definition of insanity is that you're going to get anything different. You're going to meet different people. You're going to be in a better relationship. Your body's going to look any different. Your bank account's going to look any different. The definition of insanity is unless if you believe that that you don't change your behavior and you're going to get something different, you are mistaken. Right? You're wrong. Absolutely 100% wrong. And so as we look at that, the responsibility, take a look at what you have scheduled. Where are you going to be? Who are you going to be with? What events are you going to attend? What information are you going to consume? I can tell you 100% that the G-Spot, right? The growth course that I built there's emotion in it from my passion, but it is hard work. It is hard work. There is nothing easy about that 12-week course. There is nothing built into it for me to say, guess what? I gave you this 12 weeks of information and guess what? There's another one right behind it. It's it. It's it. It's everything that I had to give. I gave it, right? It's in that course. Unless you have a business that's making more money and you've got 10 employees or you got 5 employees or you got 50 employees or you got 500 employees. If you got 5,000 employees, then you need my team, right? You need my team to be able to come in and put our hands on your business. But if you're thinking about starting a business, if you're working in a business, you need to make more money. If you've got a small business, if you've got a mid-sized company and you're struggling with cash flow, do the damn course. Do the work and you'll be better off and you'll eventually need my consulting company. That's the whole way that it's set up, right? That's it. There is no bigger event. We are going to have a hell of a party in 2020 at the Misfit Nation, at the Misfit Ball. That's coming. News is coming. We're going to do it around my birthday, which is October 22nd in 2020, right? October 22nd. Think about this. All the 20s involved. My birthday is October 22nd. There's 2s in there, and then it's 2020. That is going to be amazing, right? And we've already got a location down in Florida. The news is coming. News is coming. So second thing, when you make money, right? The acceleration, once you've decided to accelerate down the path, take money off the table, y'all. This is the fortressing piece. Take money off the table. Do not get sucked in to what happens. Oh, I got fired up. I took this course. I'm making more money. And then you immediately go buy a car that you don't need, right? You immediately spend money that you don't have. You immediately get a better credit card. You immediately do something. Reward yourself, but take money off the table, even if that money is $100, right? Because if it's good today, it's going to eventually crash, and we're going to have a recession. We might have a depression. We might, and then it's going to come back. And when the market tanks, you want to have some money in your pocket. Okay? Start now, Misfit Nation. No matter what it is, if you make $1,000 a week, start taking $100 and sticking that shit somewhere. I don't care whatever you decide to do with it. I am not an investment advisor. Find somebody, find a strategy, put that shit in your bed, in the thing. Do it, right? Build these habits. This is one of those muscles. This is one of those muscles that I wish I would have learned along the way. Take the money off the list. Take the money off the list. Take some money off the table. Take some money off the table. Oh, I'm doing great. Take more money off the table. Take more money off the table. Put it over here. Put it over there. Diversify. This is fortressing, y'all. Making more money is one step, okay? And it's actually the easy step. Making money is easy. Keeping it is a bitch, okay? Making money is easy. Keeping it, because there is 75% of the world is set up to take money away from you, okay? Insurance. What do you get for insurance? Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't, but they make a calculation that people are going to pay in a shitload of money and never need it, right? And then when they do need it, they want to find every reason in the world not to pay it. Okay? Just saying. Attorneys, right? There's a lawsuit every 11 seconds in this country. You better have a strategy that protects your shit, right? You've got over and over. How many world-class marketing programs are there out there? How many Facebook gurus that are trying to get your dough, right? How many of them? A lot. So the world is set up to take away from people that are producing. Okay. So expect that as you start to accelerate, just understand, take money off the table, get it away from places. Make sure that when you find a channel that you trust, right? Whether that's a book, an author, a speaker, a YouTube channel, and they're giving you advice that is actually helping you accelerate, make sure that you stick with them. Right? Don't be floating all over the place. Decide to be an expert at something and then build a fortress around you and your family. Easy to make money. It's a motherfucker to keep it. Okay? Just going to tell you. I've had a lot of luck making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Right? And I also, when I went through my crash, ended up being $2.5 million in debt. I was looking up. I was wishing I could be broke. Right? Broke was $0 to me. Had a party when I got there. So, anyway, so building that fortress and choosing 1,000%, choosing 1,000% tonight, tomorrow, whenever you get to it, choosing what your outcome is for 2020, because we're going to be all up in that decision. We're going to make it. We're going to make it public. We're going to tell each other. We're going to hold each other accountable. You guys should start looking for some of your Misfit friends on here and start coming up with some accountability partners, because this is a real deal, y'all. It's a real deal. For 2 years, we've been kind of farting around with this idea. It ain't an idea anymore. You all have proven so much to me over the course, especially over the course of the last 9 months, proven to me that this is necessary, that my time in investing into y'all is going to be worthy of the suffering that we're going to ease together as a team, right? As a group of human beings that is going to change this world. So make more money, get in better shape so you have better energy so you can work better, figure out how to improve your relationships, because, look back over the course of the last 10 years of your life, and just take an inventory of how those relationships have ended, right? And guess what? If they've ended poorly, there's one common denominator. It was you. Okay. And figure out how to take some money off the table, set it up now. Even if you just go download one of these apps like Acorn or something and have it taken your extra change, or you have some money that's being auto deducted and put into, into some sort of an account out of your paycheck, whatever it is, start scooping some money off the table. And then lastly, figure out where you want to serve, and that you are committed and making all of this non-negotiable, right? That's the call for 2020 for Misfit Nation, y'all. And I'm again, it's an hour and a half in, and I fully expected or pushed to do this in 45 minutes, but so be it. So anyway, thank you all for being here. We're gonna again just a couple of notifications tomorrow. I'm gonna figure out a good time to do these 5-minute deals, and I may do several 5 minutes in the day, but you can look for those. And if you put a question in for what you wanted to know about business or anything that you think that I might have some good input on, your name and your question will be read. Eventually I'll get through all of them. December 1st through the 7th down in Cancun. If you want to go, private message me. I think there's 1 or 2 seats left open. That's Lainey, who was on earlier. She may still be here. Get in touch with her. October 11th, if you're anywhere near Chicago, right? Anywhere near Chicago, come and see me. We're going to be doing some content that I've never done before, that Roberto Monaco, who you'll meet here in the next week or so, one of the greatest speaker coaches, and he's been helping me do something really special. That's the first time we're going to be doing it. I'll be in LA at the NAC event where Gene Simmons and Gary Vee, that's going to be October 15th and 16th. And then October 28th, I'll be in New Jersey for the fundraiser. I have a table, by the way. It's got a couple of seats left at it for that event. And it's going to be a very, very amazing fundraiser for the little girls in Guatemala that get raped, in the underage sex trade down there and then become pregnant. So there's a fundraiser we're doing on the 28th for that one. November, I'll figure out if Tracy wants it publicized for her event. November 1st. I mean, for crying out loud, we've got a new dawn, right? The second annual Dawn of Hope on November 1st in Salt Lake City. If you haven't gotten your tickets there, make sure that we get them. Make sure that you get that handled. Okay. Thank you all. Again, I just want to make sure that I always say thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. I'm listening to you. I hear you. I see you. I appreciate you. Your messages on the back end, there's a new Leah in the environment that has been very, very kind and supportive on the back. The messages that I get, the stuff that you guys are doing, and I just can't tell you how rewarding that you all make my life. And I'm so grateful. Anytime you recommend this show, anytime you recommend the growth course, anytime you recommend anything that I'm doing, I'm extraordinarily humbled, because I know you're putting your name on me putting your stamp of approval on me. And I know that's a risk. And I want to just say thank you for that risk that you take. And I hope that every time that I speak, that every time that I represent you, that every time somebody hears me that you've recommended, I hope that I honor you and the decision that you've made to be in the Misfit Nation. I love you all. Have an amazing, amazing evening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this stuff that you do. Share this out if you think somebody else needs to hear it. Tag them, put their names in here, and let's start rocking the free world in 2020. Thank you. Peace.